What's up, folks? It's your boy Vegabomber, and I'm back with the third annual Fanboy Oscars. That's right. So you might be asking, what, pray tell, is the Fanboy Oscars? Well, let me put it this way. It's a passion project of mine, and it's a way to kind of level the playing field, because I have a feeling that these guys don't watch films from the same lens that these guys do. And I feel like the latter group is the group that spends the most money on the movies anyway, so we should probably listen to them than those other guys. So another great feature about this also is that you get to meet some of the Vegabomber's friends and learn about some other podcasts that are out there by just hearing them present the different categories. So here's what we have for categories. We have some of the basic same categories that you would see in the Oscars, but we also have fanboy categories as well. You know, like best superhero movie, because that would never be a category in the Oscars. But no worries, no worries. We fix it here. So with all of that, now let's get into the third annual of the Foscars, and let's start with the very first category, and that would be most underrated movie of 2018. And for that, I'm going to have my buddies down there at Keith's Comics tell us all about it. Tell us about it, Horror Mike.
Hey, this is Mike at Keith's Comics. My category tonight for the Foscars are most underrated film. The nominees today are Won't You Be My Neighbor, Searching, Isle of Dogs, and Ready Player One. And the winner is Won't You Be My Neighbor. This was an amazing documentary about one of probably this generation's greatest men, and it just flew under the radar, unfortunately, for a lot of people. I think it's going to be huge on streaming, but if you haven't seen it, do not sit on this one. And back to you, Vega.
You know what, Mike? I have to agree with you on that. Won't You Be My Neighbor? That's a shame that film didn't even get nominated. I can't believe that it didn't even get nominated in Best Documentary. So, yeah, but don't worry. We fixed it with the Fanboy Oscars, and I have to say, I do agree with you. That film about Mr. Rogers, who knew Mr. Rogers was that interesting? He seemed like he was just a goody-goody, but as it turns out, when a film is told well, it can make its subject matter look even better. So kudos to you, Mike, for recognizing Won't You Be My Neighbor. And now, moving on to Best Soundtrack or Original Score. So I think I need to fall into the vortex. And to help me fall into the vortex, let's talk to Kazak, and he'll tell us what the best soundtrack was for a movie in 2018. Kazak, whichever the way I'm supposed to point, it's you, man. Tell them.
Hey, from the Dallas On Air studios of beautiful Dallas, Texas, my name is Kazak. I am the Talk Mode of the Sith. I am also the host on the Vortex of Doom, your laugh track for the Apocalypse podcast. You can also find me on Fulfillments. You can find me on the Rancor Pit Live. You can find me on Figments and Isle of Toys. Yes, you can find me every Sunday here on Talk to Me Sundays on DallasOnAir.com. Thank you for tuning in to the third annual Foscars, the Fanboy Oscars, and we appreciate the Vegabomber for bringing this to you. Let me go ahead and bring you tonight's category, which is Best Soundtrack / Score. And the nominees are Black Klansman, Terrence Blanchard, Black Panther, Ludwig Göransson, Isle of Dogs, Alexandra Desplat, and Mary Poppins by Mark Shaman and Scott Williams. And the winner is... wait for it... Isle of Dogs, Alexandra Desplat, and let me go ahead and explain to you why. Oh, I know some of you are angry about this. I know that you're missing the funky grooviness of Black Klansman, and I know that you need that hip-hop cut of Black Panther, and of course, Mary Poppins, that timeless sound, but Isle of Dogs wins it hands down because it is the sound in that film is a character as much as anyone. It builds suspense, it builds tension, it carries the score through and carries the story through. Most importantly, it really is the basis of a great Wes Anderson film. If you haven't seen Isle of Dogs yet, I strongly encourage you to check it out. But anyway, the winner, of course, tonight, Isle of Dogs, Alexandra Desplat. Thank you for tuning into the Fanboy Oscars, and of course, tune in to Talk Nerdy to Me Sunday, every Sunday, here on DallasOnAir.com. And now, back to you, Vega.
Interesting. Isle of Dogs. I don't know that would necessarily be my pick. I definitely would have to say I wouldn't bump that soundtrack in my car. I definitely have been bumping Black Panther though. That one was for real. But Isle of Dogs, hey, it's the Fanboy Oscars. That's what it is. Fanboys have spoken. I'll roll with that. And now to jump into the best comedy of 2018, I need to have my boys. Well, you know what? Let's go back to Kazak. Let's see if he can get this one on point, or let's see if he agrees with me on this one. Kazak, tell us, what was the funniest or the best comedy of 2018? Or were there even any comedies outside of the Marvel movies and their forced comedy? I don't know. Kazak, it's on you, bro. Tell us, what was the funniest movie this year?
Tonight I am presenting Best Comedy, and the nominees are Black Klansman, Deadpool 2, Sorry to Bother You, Game Night, and Blockers. And the winner is... Black Klansman. That's right, Black Klansman. I'm warning Black Klansman the Foscar not just because Spike Lee deserves it, but also any film that can make David Duke look more ridiculous than he absolutely is gets my vote. Again, the winner tonight for Best Comedy, Black Klansman. Thank you for tuning in, and of course, do tune in to Fulfillment every second and fourth Sunday at 9:30 a.m., followed by the Vortex of Doom, right here on DallasOnAir.com. Thank you for tuning in. And now, back to you, Vega.
Black Klansman? That's a comedy? Isn't that a story about a real-life person who was black, who was able to get into the Klan and get membership because he talked to David Duke over the phone? I agree with you. This movie was funny, although I'm not sure it should have been. But out of the list that we had of nominees, yeah, I'm rolling with you on this one, Kazak. Black Klansman, I almost said Black Panther. How many times is that going to happen where you have Black Panther, Black Klansman all in the movie? All we need was Black Manta, the villain in Aquaman, and we'd have been blacked out, right? Anyways, I think I'm agreeing with you on this one, Kazak. And now, Best Hero or Superhero Film for 2018. This is tough because there were a lot of them, but we'll let the guys at the JCU help us out. Jedi Cole, Eddie Medina, do your thing.
Hey everybody, it's Jedi Cole Houston from the Rancor Pit Live with
Eddie Medina.
also the Rancor Pit Live.
Indeed.
And we're going to go a little off Star Wars here and talk about the best hero movie.
And not Star Wars heroes.
Not Star Wars
The
heroes.
others. It's like the capes and tights and the
We're
flying.
spelled out, and also co-host of Hey Kids Comics, and Eddie is
True.
practically the third co-host for all intents and purposes. We love having him on the show. So he's got the comic book chops. So we're going to go after some comic book heroes and our favorite movies out there. We'll start out with Black Panther because that's the one that's been making the big splash.
This is one that caught me off guard because I've been a fan of Black Panther, but I wasn't a huge fan of Black Panther prior to this reading the comics. And I wasn't even particularly rushing out to see this film. But once I saw the film, I fell in love with it. Next, we have Avengers Infinity War, another great film. Totally loved it. Cried tears.
Personal favorite, Aquaman. Not thrilled with Jason Momoa. Just not my flavor.
He's sexy Aquaman.
I know, but I know, I understand they had the sex up
Nothing's better than watching Momoa while eating Samoas. It's the best.
and drinking mimosa.
And so finally, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh,
I just want to go into Louise at this point, just like say a bunch of witty stuff. My brain doesn't work that fast that way.
and then the Stanley showed up, and there was this guy.
And then
But,
the end, everybody was,
oh my gosh, Ant-Man and the Wasp, talk about a perfectly executed comic book movie. This is a comic book movie for the ages. It's your reveal.
yeah, we should reveal the best superhero movie.
Black Panther.
Forever.
Make sure you check out the Rancor Pits, and back to you, Vegabomber.
Black Panther? Yeah. I think out of all those movies, in terms of superhero films, I would say it was a tough draw. You could go with either Infinity War or Black Panther on this one. I would say since Infinity War has a lot of superheroes together and a lot more things going on, of course you could say Infinity War, but I also think you could make an argument in terms of a solo film that didn't lend itself to have help from other superheroes being in it. Black Panther did that pretty well, and It was a pretty enjoyable movie, so I'm on full agreement with that. I still don't know what was in the water that made Aquaman do $1 billion. I still don't know, especially when Batman v Superman couldn't, and Superman, and they're much bigger figures than Aquaman. But I digress. All right, this next film is a surprise hit film. The film that came out of nowhere that actually is pretty darn good, worth your money, and you probably will buy on Blu-ray. We're gonna go back to Keith's Comics. We'll get Horror Mike to help us out with this one. Horror Mike, do your thing.
As Vegas said, my category this time will be surprise hit film. And the nominees are Searching, Green Book, Won't You Be My Neighbor, and Blind Spotting. A lot of good ones, but the winner this time is Green Book. And this was a hard one, guys. I'm telling you, Blind Spotting looks amazing. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see it. And Won't You Be My Neighbor, I absolutely adore that documentary. But Green Book is such a surprise because who would have thought a story about two guys in a car basically talking about race issues and the culture around America would be so compelling and one of the most compelling films of the year. Green Book definitely wins this one.
Yeah, or Mike, 100% full on agreement. Green Book is the best movie for sure in that category, and maybe even in the whole year. But there's someone else handling that category, Best Picture. But I would say Green Book, absolutely surprise hit. One of the best films, easily good time movie. You go see this movie, walk out of this movie, you definitely feel good, not watered down, definitely has tension, has great characterization. Green Book, I'm in 100% agreement. Horror Mike. Yeah, so next category, Best Supporting Actor in a Film. So to get a little help with that, I'm going to throw it out to my boy Matt Partain at the Lost Toys. Matt, tell him, Best Supporting Actor.
What's up, guys? It's Matt here. I'm one of the owners at the Lost Toys in Dallas, Texas. My category today is going to be Best Supporting Actor this year. We've got Mahershala Ali for Green Book. We've got Adam Driver, Kylo Ren, and Black Klansman. We've got Sam Elliott in A Star is Born. I think he got about 15 minutes of screen time in that movie. And Sam Rockwell in Vice with an amazing George Bush impression. My pick this year is going to be, probably not surprising, I'm going to go with Mahershala Ali in Green Book. He's an amazing actor. I loved him in House of Cards. I loved him in Luke Cage. And I'm just a big fan of his. I think he's on True Detective this season. So, yeah, that's got to be my pick this year.
Yes, absolutely, 100% agreement. Mahershala Ali definitely should win this one. He won it before for the controversial movie Moonlighting, or Moonlight. Moonlighting was a TV show in the 80s. You know, Bruce Willis, Sybil Shepherd. Well, maybe you don't know, kind of old showing that up right now. But no, Mahershala Ali, absolutely. If you've seen the film Green Book, come on. This is easy. This is way too easy if he's the supporting actor. And I would say in this film, he probably was, because Viggo Mortensen, the lead actor, I'm suspecting, he crushed it. But at any rate, I'm 100% agreement with you, Matt. And yeah, Best Supporting Actress. Who would that be? Who do you think of when you think of performances by females this year where they were in a support role that did really well? I don't know that I want to touch this one. There were several good actresses in this film, in certain films this year. So I know what. Let's put the new guy on the hard task. Let's put the new guy. Hey, let's go back to Keith's comic and let's talk to the new guy, Mike.
Hey, I'm Michael from Keith's Comics, and today my category is Best Supporting Actress. We have as nominees Amy Adams from Vice, Emma Stone from The Favorite, Rachel Weisz from The Favorite, and Regina King from If Beale Street Could Talk. And the winner is Amy Adams from Vice. The reason I chose her was because it is very difficult to make a compelling, how do I say it? Basically, to do a non-fictional character, a person in history, to be able to do that and make it compelling is very admirable. So, back to you, Vegabomber.
And he has Best Supporting Actress. I can agree with that, new guy, Mike. Good job. Like I said, I didn't want that, so this is what you do. You send the newbie out to go tell us what these things are. So I will agree with you on that one, new guy, Mike. Let's make sure you get not intern pay, but regular pay, because good job there for you, son. And now, Best Actor of the Year. Oh, a lot of good folks here. Let's see what the fanboys selected. I'm not quite sure about this one, but Matt, let's go back to Matt at Lost Toys and see what he had to say about the Best Actor for a film in 2018 for the Foscars.
What's up, guys? I'm Matt from the Lost Toys, one of the owners here. My category is going to be Best Actor this year. The nominees are Christian Bale in Vice, Viggo Mortensen in Green Book, Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born, Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody, and Willem Dafoe in At Eternity's Gate. And my pick is going to be Bradley Cooper in A Star is Born. I thought he was excellent. Knowing that he directed it helps, and he really pulled me into the screen for that performance, and I really enjoyed it. I even liked to sing it.
Yes. So, Matt, you went with Bradley Cooper with A Star is Born. I would say I'm with you. I can see that, but I don't know. I think Christian Bale in Vice was really good as well. But the fanboys have spoken, and that's where we are with Best Actor for 2018. How about Best Actress for 2018 in a film?
Hey, Sean Chandler here from Sean Chandler Talks About, a place for people who love to talk about movies way too much, movie reviews, ranking, all that fun stuff, and a place where I want to join you in the comment section and talk about your favorite movies. Right now, we are talking about the best actresses of 2019, and the nominees are Glenn Close for The Wife, Olivia Colman for The Favorite, Lady Gaga for A Star is Born, and Yalitza Aparicio for Roma. And the winner is, I'm going to go with Lady Gaga for A Star is Born. For me, this was the movie that kind of raised the biggest spectrum of emotions in me, and all of that was because of the incredible performances from the cast. Lady Gaga being the lead driving force of this, as you see her go from being kind of normal person who's almost afraid of her skill level, her talent, and not wanting to go out there, to being the star that is born. And you see her go through this whole journey, a journey of romance, a journey of tragedy, journey through all sorts of human emotions, and you buy all of it. Great chemistry with Bradley Cooper. And so I just love the performance. I love the movie, and it came down to because she did such a good job. I believed all of it. The most emotion. So for me, that was the best performance of the batch that we had right there. Out of some great performances right there. So that's my take on it. Back to you, Vegabomber.
But now let's get to Best Director. And for Best Director, how about a very familiar face? Familiar face, tell them who the Best Director was for 2018. Oh, hey, what's up, world? Yes, third annual Foscars. You know I had to weigh on one of these categories. I probably should have weighed on a couple of categories, but for sure, this year, I'm going to do Best Director. So, the nominees are Spike Lee for Black Klansman, Powell Pawlowski for Cold War, Yorgos Lanthimos for The Favorite, Adam McKay, finally something easier to say, for Vice. And, well, I want to write somebody in because I don't know why he's not in here, and that would be Ryan Coogler for BP, Black Panther. Do you realize that? Well, anyway, let me get to it. So, the winner is... I'm going to have to say I'm going to default. I think those other directors are great, but I'm going to go with a write-in, and that would be Ryan Coogler. Now, let me tell you why. It's not just because Black Panther was a great film. It wasn't the best film this year, but it was a good film for many reasons. When you leave a film, and the experience you have after watching a film is also equally as important as the technicality of the film. But I would say Ryan Coogler not being on this list, what is going on? What are you thinking, Hollyweird? How are you not have this guy on here? You know that he's the director of Creed.
He's the director of Fruitvale Station, which won many awards for the Sundance as a small film. And then, of course, Marvel trusted him to do a big, important property like Black Panther. So far, this guy's first 4 films and his filmography are all have been incredible for a guy who essentially is kind of coming out of nowhere in terms of putting him up against the years of experience of a Spielberg or a Lucas or somebody like that. So, I don't know. I got to go with Ryan Coogler, a write-in vote. Nothing against Spike Lee or Yorgos, because I loved his film as well, and McKay, I don't know about all that. The movie Vice was good, but I don't know about all that. So anyways, that's the Vegabomber's pick. I'm going to send it back to me, the Vegabomber that's at the studio.
I'll be damned. An intervention was done. So we had to write one in because somebody was missing. Well, I will tell you this. Good job, Universal Face, known face. I think I like exactly what you had to say on this one, and I would have to agree. So let's go with that for Best Director. Although there were many great directors in this year's category, I would say for sure, if you've seen their body of work. Now, we're getting there. Let's get down to Best Picture. And for Best Picture, we're going to go out to the Jedi Cole universe, or the JCU, and have Jedi Cole and Eddie Medina tell us what was the Best Picture of 2018. Fellas?
All right, hey everybody, I'm Cole Jedi Cole Houston, the head of the game show department at Alcon, and I am here to talk about the Best Picture of the year, Oscar, because we don't care about the Oscars here, we're talking about the Fanboys' choice, and our nominees are Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, Green Book, Roma, A Star is Born, and Vice. I have the distinction of deliberately picking Best Picture as a category I wanted to cover because I've seen exactly half of these films. So I'm actually about 40 to 60% above most of the Academy membership in choosing which of these films, because I've actually at least seen some of them. So, you know, Black Panther, you're going to think, oh, you know, comic book podcast host, that's where I'm headed. Could be. It's a very, very good movie. It wasn't just a good superhero movie, it was a good movie. Black Klansman I haven't seen, unfortunately, yet. I just haven't had a chance to go see that, or Green Book, or Roma, or A Star is Born. Really impressed with Christian Bale and Vice. That felt creepily like I was back a couple of decades for a while there. Star is Born I haven't seen, but, you know, for those of you who don't know who Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand are, you now have your own new version. So, like, I didn't realize how often that had been remade. Apparently, there was actually an Edison film called A Star is Born. Green Book, I really want to see. The Vegabomber himself says, you got to go see it, so I'm going to go see it. Black Klansman, I'd like to go see. Haven't seen that. And Bohemian Rhapsody. I didn't realize how many Queen songs I didn't know were Queen songs. And I enjoyed the hell out of Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. I enjoyed the hell out of the movie. It was fun and lively. And I hadn't been that satisfied walking out of the movie. And with apologies to Black Panther and everybody else, Bohemian Rhapsody gets the Foscar for 2018. And I'm going to sign off now and throw it right back to the Vegabomber himself.
Okay, so the JCU has spoken. They said that the Best Picture was Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know necessarily that that's the film I would go with. I would definitely say Green Book was a better film, but once again, it's the Fanboy Oscars, and there's a segment of the Fanboy Oscars that obviously love Queen. So here we go for this year, 2018. The Best Picture ends up being Bohemian Rhapsody. And now, the final category of 2018. This is something that you won't see at the Oscars. You can only see it at the Foscars, and that is Garbage Movie of the Year. And there are several films that could be Garbage Movie of the Year. And for this particular category, we're going to kick it out to the Figments group of the podcast, the Figments, the cryptic couple themselves, Colleen and Eddie. They're going to tell us what the Garbo Movie of the Year was. This is the movie that just stinks.
Hey guys, this is Eddie and Colleen. We are
The cryptic couple.
from
Figments.
Figments, the Unexplained Mysteries podcast, and we're here to present to you, for the Foscars, the category of garbage film.
Garbage films.
Yes.
Ugh, trash.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even want to pay money.
No,
Oh.
not even Redbox. Don't even
Stinks.
bother.
Ew,
Yeah,
gross.
late night Channel 27 type stuff.
Yeah.
So-
Wait, is there really still a Channel 27?
I don't know. Somebody out there loves it. So the first film in our garbage category is
Predator.
yes, Predator. Now,
Personally, I love this movie. I don't know why it would have
Did
ever
you?
gotten onto the list. Predator? I
I'm
love
so
Predator.
sorry because I
Really?
love the Predator franchise. I love the first one. The first one is a classic. Second one, Danny Glover. Come on, Crazy Gary Busey. You got it. You gotta love it. You know, AVP. The AVP movies are okay. The one with the guy from The Village. You know,
Oh, yes.
that was okay.
Whatever his name is.
This one, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It was kind of all over the place. And some things made sense. Some things were like nice nods to the original. For a Shane Black film, I thought it was lackluster.
I don't think you need to play with Predator in Mortal Kombat anymore. Then.
He is my favorite character in Mortal Kombat.
So for our next, are we ready to move on?
Yes. Next, we have Halloween. Why?
This is my favorite scary movie. How did this make the list?
This is the
I
new one,
know.
not the original. The new one.
Well, still, I'm not looking in
It's-
the trash can and
We're
finding
talking about
this movie.
Halloween 2, but it's not called Halloween 2. It's just called Halloween. So what's the sequel to Halloween? Halloween. How does
Halloween.
that make sense? It should be Halloween 2. It doesn't make sense.
But still,
Anyway.
I mean, you can't throw Michael Myers in the trash can because he'll come after you. So I wouldn't do that.
I have to say I don't agree with this being in the category of garbage film because I actually liked it a lot. Didn't love it, liked it a lot. I think it's
Me too.
definitely the best sequel to the original Halloween we have.
See it a
Definitely.
second time, you'll like it better the second time.
Second time, yes.
Did you
Next,
just go second time, or did you?
see it a second time. Next,
50 Shades of, or no, 50 Shades Free?
yeah, I don't know. This one's so bad we
I
didn't
don't
even
even know
bother
where
seeing
this
it.
movie came from.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's
No clue.
I know what it's about. I mean, in my day they used to be called porns, but you know, I guess now they're mainstream.
We don't
So
talk about stuff like that.
no, not on the Foscars. No. And finally, for our final entry, we have Slender Man. This ties into Figments.
It does.
Yeah.
It does tie in because it's a mystery. Does he really exist or does
Is
he
it a
not?
Figment?
Yeah, it's a figment of your imagination.
Now we saw Slender Man. It does belong in this list. That was garbage.
It does. Y'all could have done
That
a
was
lot
garbage.
better with that movie. But the video game, I did play the video game by myself,
Mhm.
and it was a little spooky in times. There's a lot of
Yeah.
times I would turn around and he'd be
Yeah.
right there. You'd never survive.
Yeah. So the big reveal.
Don't smack me or yourself. 50 Shades Freed.
Yes, the movie's so bad we didn't even bother seeing it.
Can't even find where it is. I don't even know how to see that movie because
No.
it's just, yeah. Maybe it's so far down in the trash that you can't like throw it up to watch it.
Thank you for having us on the Foscars, and check out Figments, the Unexplained Mysteries podcast.
All right.
100% agreed. 50 Shades of Freed, that is the worst garbage stink pile, garbage dumpster, set it on fire, landfill fire, everything negative you could think of, that film gets it. Unless, of course, you want to talk about Slender Man, and that movie sucked as well. But that's okay. We're going with the Cryptic Couple because they are right. The most garbage film ever in 2018 had to be 50 Shades of Freed, and hopefully they won't make any more of these because at some point there just might be a riot at the movie theaters if we have to sit back and let this film take up any more good theater spaces from other good films that could have played. You know, like Green Book and Searching and films like that. So, anyways, I want to first of all just thank everyone that came and helped out for 2018 in terms of the Foscars. A lot of great podcasts, a lot of great fanboys, if you will, people who love film came out. And now we'll just do this. I'm going to go ahead and kick us to the credits. I would ask you to stick through the credits and see who the people were. And if you like some of these names and people from what they presented today, go ahead and check out their pages. Anyway, this is your boy, the Vegabomber, and I'm out for the 3rd annual Foscars of 2018, which was actually filmed in 2019, just so that we get that right in the books. All right, peace out, you.